While growing up, we all have ideas of what we want to be when we become older, such as a fireman, an astronaut, a ballerina, or even a scientist. But as we all know, those ideas tend to change over the years, and we end up pursuing a career that we never thought that we would. With Dr. Roger McInturf, he was unlike that. He knew that he wanted to work with animals ever since the 7th grade. In his younger years, Dr. McInturf helped his father, who was an agricultural teacher, go on a farm call. He asked if the veterinarian would allow him to come along for observation more often, and that is where his veterinary career began. From the 8th grade throughout high school, Dr. McInturf went on about 25 to 30 farm calls a week, with days that lasted sometimes from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. After graduating high school, he attended Ohio University in Athens just to pursue his general courses. After that year at Ohio University, he attended the Ohio State University in Columbus for 3 years, where he pursued a bachelor's degree in animal science. These 3 years is what led him to Ohio State's veterinary school. When I asked if it was hard to get into vet school, he said it's very competitive. Not only do they look at your GPA, but they also consider all the experiences that you have within the field. Another fact that Dr. McInturf told me, since I told him I was a hopeful of one day getting into vet school, he said that Ohio State now, they only take in 160 students out of the 1,000 or more students each year, or applicants each year, and about 90 or so are women. After graduating from vet school in 1963, Dr. McInturf was employed at a 3-doctor practice in Virginia. In the area that their practice was, each farmer either had 20 to 30 head of dairy cattle or 6 to 7 mules. After a brief time there, he moved back to Ohio, where he searched for veterinarian jobs across the state. He had no luck until one day he ran into Dr. Little, a local veterinarian in the Ashland area, at a local gas station, and Dr. Little agreed to help him with his practice goals. In 1964, with the help of Dr. Little and another local vet named Dr. Smith, he ran a 4-room practice out of his barn for 10 years. In July of 1974, Dr. McInturf had the opportunity to own a group practice with fellow doctors Dr. Smith, Dr. Hoblet, and Dr. Mast, and their practice came to be the Spring Meadow Veterinary Clinic on State Route 60 in Ashland. And I have a picture of Spring Meadow right here. The clinic is still there today, but in 2006, Dr. McInturf and Dr. Mast retired from the profession after 40 plus years. He and Dr. Mast sold the practice to Dr. Marnie Lehman, who keeps the practice growing today. As we all know, all medical fields are constantly growing with new advances in technology and medicine. So I asked Dr. McInturf how he felt the field would change within the next 5 to 10 years. He said due to people have a growing interest in owning pets, he said he could see the pet insurance option grow and become a big income source for veterinarians. Also, with advancements in technology, he could see digital X-ray and laser equipment be used more often in our local general practices. Due to growing specialties also, he thinks that more large animal specialties will come to be, such as large animal embryo transfer within dairy cattle. When asked what he liked most about his career being a vet, he said meeting people and families that throughout the generations that kept farming growing. He also loved working with the animals that he saw over the years become a huge part of families. His least favorite aspect was getting 3 a.m. wake-up calls from clients. As we know, any medical field can seem to be very stressful at times, and with animals you have to deal with stubborn pets. But he says the most stressful part of the veterinary profession was employees. He said the idiosyncrasies between employees and also scheduling around 10 different people and insurance can be tough, because not only are you affecting one person, you're affecting families, so you're affecting a lot of people all at the same time. He also stated that anytime you work with the public, you can't make everyone happy. And that was the joy of having a multiple doctor practice, because if one couldn't work with a customer or couldn't get along with a customer, then maybe another one could. To be successful in this particular field, not only must you be physically fit to work with various animals, but you must have interpersonal skills to be accurate and convey confidence to your clients so they trust in what you are doing. Those who are employed in the veterinary field don't do it for the money. They do it because they love working with animals. Many doctors have experiences that they never thought they would, such as with Dr. McInturf. He got a call from a traveling circus that came through Ashland, and he got to work on an elephant, the first and the only time that he got to work with an exotic animal. Some veterinarians have funny stories, but all will say to get as much experiences as possible to get far in the field. I asked Dr. McInturf if he missed being in practice, and he said, "Of course, I miss keeping up with the families, but I don't miss those 3 a.m. wake-up calls."